So following last night's SummerSlam Night 1, tonight SummerSlam Night 2 was headlined by Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Earlier during the day, Triple H mentioned the fact that we haven't seen anything yet as concerned to SummerSlam Night 2. And I guess I might as well just get the elephant out of the room here, so to speak, because Brock Lesnar made his return following this main event match between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. So I might as well start off with that match in general. That was the main event match. Much better than the WrestleMania 41 counterpart. The WrestleMania 41 counterpart obviously was plagued by a bunch of reasons as to why it didn't live up to the hype. But this one, obviously, it was babyface against babyface. It was the original John Cena, the real John Cena, as Cody Rhodes put it, against a very determined, very game Cody Rhodes. Obviously, the crowd here was more so in favor towards John Cena. He came out with, his original entrance with the, with obviously the Titantron, with the whole color scheme and everything that John Cena is known for, and Cody Rhodes came out here as well. This match, like I said, was much better than the WrestleMania 41 match. You could say at certain points in this match there was a over-reliance on finisher spam, but again, like I mentioned beforehand on the CM Punk match and on that Randy Orton match a few months ago, John Cena, this is kind of what he is capable of doing, right? He's not gonna go out there and give you a match like CM Punk back in 2011. So they kind of have to resort to these type of things like a street fight, like a finisher spam. We had Super Cena here, we had Super Cody, we had table spots, we had the potential teases once again of a potential Cody Rhodes heel turn, or at the very least a much more aggressive side of Cody Rhodes, not flinching like he did at WrestleMania 41. But at the end of the match, Cody Rhodes delivers a crossroads to John Cena, gets the win over John Cena, and at the end of the match, John Cena sort of passes the torch over to Cody Rhodes, and then Cody Rhodes, gives the ring to John Cena. This is his moment. John takes the moment, he looks around the arena, he starts thanking everybody, and at this point in time, I'm thinking something is going to go down. Now in my head, I'm thinking potentially, naively, The Rock, right? I'm thinking possibly we may get The Rock here to maybe confront Cena, because maybe he's pissed off over the fact that Cena has essentially buried what The Rock has done for him. At the very least, that's what I was expecting here. And then we hear that familiar riff from Brock Lesnar's music, and Brock Lesnar returns here and takes out John Cena, essentially giving him an F5 and standing tall over his lifeless body. I was not expecting Brock. I had seen rumors of Brock potentially being among a surprise here, but I kind of just wrote it off due to the complicated, I guess, past of Brock and where he was recently. I don't really know how to react to this moment, because I don't really know where Brock Lesnar fits in 2025 WWE, because I wasn't expecting him whatsoever at all. It looks like, by the way they're teasing things, they're going to do a John Cena and Brock Lesnar match in Paris. Again, I'm not sure if I like this sort of return or if I hate this return. At the very least, right now, I'm kind of at a loss for words, because I'm just genuinely taken aback by this return. Again, I'm not going to bring up exactly what happened with him and the whole McMahon lawsuit, but at the very least, I'm still kind of wondering whether or not that's still even pending, whether or not he's clear of all those allegations that were, leveraged against him. I don't really know at this current point what the situation is with him with that. But Brock Lesnar makes his return here at SummerSlam and takes out John Cena, much like how he did a few years ago in 2021 when he returned as well and gave John Cena an F5. As far as the rest of the card goes, we started off this night with Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Naomi. I did like this match. I thought it was a fun way to open off the show. Was it better than that WrestleMania triple threat match earlier this year between Rhea, Io, and Bianca? Probably gonna leverage and say that match was a little better than the one we got here tonight. Again, not trying to take anything away from these three ladies. They obviously kicked ass here to start off the show. We had Naomi here pick up the win after Rhea Ripley delivered a riptide to Io Sky and she went for the pinfall. Naomi took advantage and got a roll up on Rhea. Again, continuing that sort of story of Rhea, not being able to beat Io Sky. She was fingertips away from beating Io Sky here tonight, but she still couldn't get the job done. So like I said, Naomi got the win there. And up to this point, I would have probably leveraged and told you guys that this TLC match was probably the match of the night. We had crazy table spots as usual. We had a Spanish fly through the table to Dawkins. We had Candice LeRae go through the ladder. But at the end, Uncle Howdy got involved and got the win for the Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six retain their tag team championships, as I kind of figured they would. But again, a very solid match, a very great way sort of here to kick off the show as well. Then moved on to Becky Lynch against Lyra Valkyria for the IC title. Now, me straight up, I did not think that this was as good as their previous matches, especially their Backlash or their Money in the Bank match. I kind of felt like the crowd was a little out of this. I certainly didn't help with the finish because Becky got the win over Lyra after Bayley inadvertently cost Lyra the match and cost her opportunity at the IC title going forward. So again, I have to beg the question, what do we do now with all three of these ladies? Do we have Bayley against Becky at Paris? Maybe Lyra helps Bayley win that match. I don't know what the direction is for all three of these ladies. I would have suspected Lyra get the win here and we send Becky off to SmackDown to help out the SmackDown division, which sorely needs somebody like a Becky on there. But again, I'm not sure what the direction is now moving forward. We then moved on to Solo Sikoa against Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship inside of a steel cage match. Going into this match, I knew the MFTs were going to get involved because coincidentally enough, a steel cage never keeps anybody out of the steel cage, and we had Solo Sikoa retain with the help of Tala Tonga against Jacob Fatu. So it looks like they're going to continue this feud going forward, and like I said previously, I have zero sort of interest in seeing anything with these MFTs at this point. With Solo and his whole entire group, just kind of over it. I wish they would move Fatu to something else interesting because it seems like the Solo feud is kind of holding him back. We then moved on to Dominic Mysterio against AJ Styles for the IC title, and this match straight out the gate was sort of a love letter to Eddie Guerrero because AJ Styles came out there in a low rider. He had the same sort of tights that Eddie had back in that 2005 match against Rey Mysterio at SummerSlam. He had a Latino Heat style t-shirt. They obviously borrowed from Eddie Guerrero's playbook as far as the spots in the match. They had the classic chair spot in which the referee sort of looks over to see who has the chair in hand. Dom copied the famous WrestleMania 20 spot where he loosens up his boot and the opponent ends up pulling off the boot by accident, which gave Dom the win there. Again, like I said, this was very much a love letter towards Eddie Guerrero, and that was the entirety of the SummerSlam card. Obviously, after this, we got the main event between Cena and Cody. Again, right now, how I feel about the Brock Lesnar situation is I'm kind of at a loss for words. I'm kind of speechless because I don't know how to react. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought of SummerSlam Night 2. And let me know what you guys thought of SummerSlam as a whole in general. And of course, of the Brock Lesnar return here tonight as well. Let me know what your thoughts are. And I'll see you on the next one.